our village.
I think it'd be the withholding of victim contact information,
Right.
Getting financial and operational support. You know, it's just a resolution asking for more money, basically. Accelerated discovery requirements are a pain. Those definitely apply. They actually apply to code enforcement proceedings too.
And the EMS and fire.
And the EMS and fire folks' information has to be disclosed. So there are some things in this resolution. I agree it's more broad than what necessarily applies to this village, but I mean, you could tweak it if you wanted to. I'm sure NICON would say one way or the other.
Everyone's just looking for a resolution that's okay.
Everybody read this?
I can tell you, of course, they've asked every one of our clients to pass the same resolution.
I think that much of this stuff is important.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, the way it's working is our police officers have X number of days to get everything to the DA, and the DA has X number, so it's 15 days now. You have to have the information in your hands. So clearly it's a lot less than 15 days. We have to get our stuff to the DA because then the DA has X number of days to get it in the hands. Otherwise, the case, they can use that against prosecution. You can go in and say, I didn't get my information, and then throw the case against me.
The part about one of the things that's problematic for us is certainly the fact that you got to do this for vehicle, traffic, local code infractions. The amount of paperwork, the amount of stuff, it also says down here that we also want some financial assistance from the state for all these extra things, but that particular thing would come up every single ticket we ever write. Yeah. It's potential nightmare. Is it? It's not a potential nightmare.
Gas, no. That's all we gotta live through now, unless they change it.
If there's something you or someone specifically doesn't like, certainly speak up and say that there's something wrong with a piece of it.
Yeah, I know, when I talked to Rudy, he's been working a lot in the station doing paperwork to comply with this law lately.
So it's requiring a lot more of our officers now.
Yeah.
They also said the approval is out before they're done with the paperwork.
Well, that's the bail, that's not this.
But we got the process from...
We'll do that resolution next time about the bail.
Yeah, that's a different issue.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we resolve the resolution as presented. Resolve the resolution, that's why I want that in there. Want that in there, exactly.
Any discussion about the resolution? About criminal justice laws?
Need a second for this.
Oh, yeah. I'll second it. All right, any discussion? We're good? We discussed it. Brad?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item is department head reports. Did Robin have anything?
Yeah, Robin had a meeting she had to go to, so I'll see if I can do her justice there. She had 139 calls for service in January for the EMS. And are looking for assistance or permission for assistant firefighter grant agreement with Candor. It's the same as Greater Valley. She gave a copy to Nate to look at. That's something we need to vote on next meeting.
Yeah, I think you could put it on the agenda for the next meeting. I mean, she just gave it to me.
Okay.
But yeah, they did
Check into it.
come up with an agreement for the Candor squad and the village.
Okay.
So it's fine there. It took a lot of time to get that done.
Yeah, so they checked it out.
Yeah, Nate has a copy. There seems to be some disagreement on as far as keeping the doors locked at the main fire station there. They've been keeping the outside doors locked all the time, mainly because of items that are in the ambulances, and
Right.
they don't want people to just walk in and get around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I guess they're looking for some opinion on whether those outside doors should be locked all the time or not. Because
They're locked every time you show them.
Yeah.
They automatically lock behind you. They don't, you have to use a key to get in.
I mean, there's a buzzer there, if people want to get in.
Door call, yeah.
Right.
Every time you shut the door, it locks.
I don't see. There's
Don't
nobody
we have
inside that
a rule
station.
or a law that we passed, not we, but we passed sometime, where those doors had to be unlocked for the public certain hours of the daylight? That's, seems like I'm heard something along those lines. Just seem back there, that they would
The
be.
public is welcome between
They would-
certain hours.
that
There is a buzzer so they can ring.
No, that the station would be unlocked, I'm remembering this from somewhere, but I'm just saying that maybe in our,
Might be something to check into.
might be something that we have put into the village law or code or something, I've seen the code, book. I can't remember right this minute. That door will, if you set it, it can be left unlocked.
Right. The one back door.
You can make the door unlocked. I think you can make the front door unlocked with doing something with it. I forget what you have to do.
I think you have to use like an Allen key.
Yeah, there was something you could do to make it, because we've had to unlock the times and lock the times. For years, that has been unlocked. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it has been unlocked with public access to the station and public access in whatever way, because the ambulance has been in there for years, to ambulances or whatever's in there.
That's because it was in a different configuration, because we used to have offices downstairs. I mean, we used to have offices downstairs, and we had classrooms and everything, back in the days, so that was open at that time. That's not the case now.
I'm just saying that we've had that open, but that doesn't mean it was a good idea to have the public be able to get in there and be allowed this vehicle.
Rusty, actually, our village code does say that the fire stations shall be locked between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. each day to prevent the general public from entering. Blocking and unlocking accomplished by membership of the Owego Fire Department. And then it also says the general public will be allowed to enter any station which is unlocked between the hours of 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Entrance is allowed for review of our fine firefighting equipment.
So low,
This man knows the code.
I get something right once in a while, eh?
But so it's interesting, clearly it has to be locked between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. And I read that as it may be unlocked during the rest of the day.
May not shall.
Yeah, may not
So
show.
if it is, I can go in and look at their fine equipment,
That's correct.
but not walk out with any of it.
Well, I think the may is there because, of course, it's a volunteer fire department and you can't expect there to be people stationed
Yeah.
at all times within that building.
Right.
So every time I walk by, I'm checking.
It's unlocked. You can
So,
go in.
Fran, back to the original word. What was the squad saying?
Well, as far as the outside doors being left unlocked, they were concerned about people getting in the ambulances and messing with
So I
equipment.
think in general, the outside doors are pretty much not left unlocked.
They're locked every time I get there. You gotta use
On the
it.
ambulances, it should be locked.
You would think the ambulances would be locked.
I think the complaint was that somebody wanted to come to the station when they wanted to and have it be unlocked. And you don't need to,
There's no one there.
yeah,
They didn't.
you don't need to allow that to happen.
None of the apparatus is locked. I mean, half of it doesn't even have keys.
I didn't understand, so there was a complaint from somebody that the station was locked? I didn't understand that from what you
Public,
said.
yeah.
I guess.
Oh, it was on Facebook, that's why I didn't understand.
There's a doorbell there, I guess. That's all I
Somebody's
get.
there to let you.
That's all I get.
If you really want to come, I got applications.
Right.
Right, so I guess it's duly noted.
The door's sugar man locked in.
Yeah, I like you. Not that special.
But the public should have access from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. if there are
If there are people there.
staff there.
Yeah. Which they do, they ring the doorbells and they will come.
We always go our public in.
Okay.
So somebody showed up, because once again, apparently this is on Facebook and I didn't know it because nobody used it. Somebody showed up and couldn't get in the fire station and was unhappy. So according to our rules now, we can lock it, but we have to let them in.
If somebody's there.
Yeah, you can't let them in if there's nobody there to let them in.
Right.
Well, no, but it's, we may let them in if we
Yeah, it is, I think it's still a May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the door's unlocked.
If the door is
If the door's unlocked, they can come in all they want, right?
Right.
Okay. I think.
Moving along.
As far as I know.
Okay, and they, EMS gave a bill to the clerk's office, Cindy, for maintenance for the, I don't know what this is, I'm sure Jim knows, Zoll equipment,
So,
maintenance, Z-O-L-E. They're bringing it to the board because it's over $5,000.
Oh, okay.
We have no idea what this is now?
It's a maintenance agreement for something, I'm not sure if it was.
Yeah, it's a maintenance
regulation
agreement.
or whatever,
They want to make an agreement with the company,
but we just got it today.
give the
They'll have to give us the agreement.
paperwork for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nobody in the room knows what that is next time.
And it's not gonna be paid till March,
Okay,
so it's monthly on it.
all right, we'll have,
They just dropped it off today.
We'll need the agreement.
we'll have Robin clarify that. Now, she had another meeting she had to get to.
And figure out
Okay, so she also had to, is asking for permission to apply for assist firefighter grant. Applicants must now complete all the following in order to start, complete, and submit an AFG application. The applicant organization must provide a valid Dunn and Bradstreet data universal numbering system, the DUNS number registered in the system for award management to apply in FEMA Go system. Instructions for obtaining the Dunn number can be found at the following website. Okay. Applicant organization must be currently registered and active in the system for award management. SAM to apply. SAM is available for grants.gov at this other website. So they'd like to have permission to put in for these grants.
you already did. This is Scott Flax.
So we probably can't apply twice.
You can, but you're
You're
going against yourself.
Yeah.
Sam's grant's the same thing we got for the police department for Little League,
Right.
2 separate times. So that might need to be next year.
Right.
Okay.
Was it, I wasn't paying great attention, was there a number that they wanted to apply for that?
It's what we're doing.
Number.
Okay.
It's a done number. It's
Okay, so you're saying they can't apply for it this
We were
year?
applying for a grant, there was a dollar amount, that's all I know.
Like, what are they applying for? They want to buy something or?
No, do we have that done, Bradstreet number? I think that's the other thing she wanted to do. So if we were to apply for
Two
it,
apply would be ready, right?
we would have that.
Which I'm sure you probably don't. We probably don't.
Village has
The clerk has it.
Yeah, so we don't, yeah,
So bad.
So,
So EMS don't
okay, so,
technically apply, the village applies it.
yeah, right.
So if we
all
apply
right,
twice.
so we gotta wait till next year, the mayor came up with a a suggested adjusted budget for
Yeah, that was
EMS.
just kind of based off of what the billing company told us we might get. I have no idea if those numbers are even close.
Robin would like to present this to the emergency squad board to review some of the different figures, like, you know, contract services, building maintenance, insurance, utilities, etc. So that
Yeah,
they
we should
have a
probably
good
go
look
through,
at it.
we should probably go through the budget workshop,
Yeah,
shouldn't it?
yeah.
You know,
It was
So
just
it
kind
doesn't
of,
need to be
closer to
done
summer.
now?
no, it never can be done now.
Okay.
It's just, the billing company goals was, should expect, this a couple of meetings ago, but we should expect about 100,000 less than we thought.
yeah.
Than we have worked in the budget. So I just tried to get us to that 100,000
Yeah.
number, and I got like 60,000 out for the current year, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, none of those changes are made, it's just,
So it doesn't need to be made till this coming budget season?
we gotta track it, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
Watch it, Rusty.
What is an emergency squad board?
That's a good question.
You said something wants to be presented to an emergency squad board. What is that?
What is that?
Yeah, what's an emergency squad board?
Did they elect a board?
Yeah.
We have an emergency squad that's, we don't have a board, we have an emergency squad that has officers,
Right.
the captain and et cetera, et cetera. They don't
But that's
have a board that has any authority of any sort, I don't understand.
Not budgetary anyway.
Yeah, it's chain of command business.
No, I
Governing
tell me what
Is that what she
Serious
probably called it? That's probably one of her
Well, they have,
measures.
I'm wondering if this board is part of that, their piece of the emergency squad. That's a corporation that has nothing to do with us and our operation. That's what I'm curious about, what an emergency squad board is.
the board runs the membership, not the financials of the
Membership.
department. So I should run the financials of the department.
That's why I'm asking.
Well,
All right, well, why don't we argue this?
I mean, the reason we brought this up is that the mayor proposed this in an email message a couple of weeks ago. And,
Still here, you're down.
we want, you know, Captain wanted to have a chance to look at these figures before
Well, they're not final at all, I just,
changes made.
no changes are made.
Projected income.
All right.
Yeah, I just based them off the income we thought we were gonna get, that's all.
Okay.
I mean, if we were gonna talk about it, really be concerned about the training budget is already over budget.
Yeah,
We're
right.
only 5 months in.
Just agreeing that, that's,
There's other ones that aren't even touched, so.
Well, that's,
Overall, they're doing all right. We just gotta keep watching them, but I mean, the first year's, you never know.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, the way I look at it is I think it'll probably take several years before we really
Yeah, before. it's
figure
really-
out exactly what's
Smooth.
happening with the emergency squad, you know, it's all new thing.
To this point, I think they're doing pretty well, money-wise.
Yeah,
Whereas money was spent versus money we got in.
okay, that's all that she had.
All right. Anything else, Chip?
is he snoring over there?
I just wanted to mention that last Thursday I had a meeting with BCA, the engineers on phase 2. They come down. There's been 2 new people appointed to the job. One is the vice president. He's taking lead now on the project. They pulled in one of their mechanical, electrical people that is retired and just consults with them. He's taking lead on the electrical section now. That's been the issue. Things are moving forward. NACO's been given instruction. The men are installing conduit, moving forward. One thing that BCA asked, because they know my feelings as well as the board's feelings on the additional fees that are being brought forth. One example they used is in our existing well house, there's a disconnect in there that was flooded in 2011. It was cleaned up, put back in service, it's rusty. NACO doesn't feel that it's safe to hook back to. If BCA come to the village and ask the village to pay for that, would that be reasonable? I said, absolutely, it's, you know. But BCA, the vice president of the firm, said that any cost due to their problems that have been created, they will be covered. Don't have any numbers yet, they're still working on the numbers for this JC 21, but what?
So you're gonna put that in writing?
That's why we're waiting for the numbers, to see what they are. They're in negotiations right now with Matco on the JC, and like I said, they seem to be in a lot more negotiations than they were before, because their words, they're gonna be paying for a bunch of it now. So, they're, again, their words. In writing, haven't seen it, we haven't seen the numbers. That's right.
Are they talking about paying in arrears for something that they've already made a mistake on? Just asking.
That was not mentioned.
Okay.
So, their job meetings this Thursday, they don't figure they'll have any numbers yet by then, but as soon as they do, they, from what they were saying, intend on coming down to a board meeting or a special meeting, whatever, you know, suits our needs, and go through it. So,
Good news.
it's good news, things are starting to move forward.
Yeah.
And we know that you've pushed that, thank you.
Also, we met with Hunt Engineering on the UV project, did a kind of a final go through on the prints and stuff before they go out to bid. There were a couple minor things that we seen going through that. They're gonna change. I believe they got a copy of the bid package to me for his review. As soon as he's done with that, they make those couple changes, it's gonna be going out to bid moving forward there. So everything's looking good with that, to still go on schedule to merge it in with the existing project for the access road and any excavating that needs done. And as far as, you know, the blacktop schedule and everything's still on schedule, looking good there. The only other thing I have, asking to have Chris Eggers put on as a permanent employee. Chris is a seasonal employee that was put on August 1st. My intent was to have him on seasonal for the year, then put him on at the beginning of the next fiscal year in August. Chris is working out extremely well, fitting in well, you know, learning the role there at the plant and everything well. So I kind of went through things and appeared I had the monies. And then I had Cindy, I gave everybody a copy of this, had Cindy go through, you know, work up what it would be to hiring for the 6-month, you know, time frame that was not figured. And then the bottom two line items, you know, show the monies that is there to cover it. So it's just, you know, putting him on permanent, giving him the benefits, and also he's making 13 now, that would, you know, asking for a $1 raise to go along with the permanent position. So.
We'll have money in the budget for him being full-time permanent after this.
Correct, yeah.
Then I move that we hire Christopher Eggers, permanent full-time at the rates listed on this paper.
A second.
$14 per hour.
14, but yeah, and all the other benefits.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Vote, Fran?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. Anything else?
That's all I have.
That's pretty good.
Could we go back and verify
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
clarification?
Circle around.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We can tell you what that
Well, that,
maintenance,
yeah, for the maintenance, that's for our zones, for our packs,
Ready or wants to.
for, you know, for the defibrillator and all that stuff. And that's an agreement that's been, you know, for the maintenance of that. Cindy already received the bill for that, but it was because it was over $5,000, it had to be approved by you guys.
Is it an agreement that we,
I've always had.
Prices always similar?
Yeah.
if we're in the middle of the agreement though, there's not, we have to negotiate the agreement?
No, there's never a negotiation because they have a monopoly on it because they are the owners of the monitors. Well, we're the owners, but they're their company. Somebody else won't care for their materials and whatnot. And as for what you were discussing about the hours of the week for having access to the public, is that what I was to understand for the building? Is that a question?
No, I think we covered that.
Yeah, what covers, it does not have to be open, but it has to be, the public has to be welcome during those hours.
So,
Doors have to
If
be
somebody's
locked.
there.
so, yeah, as long as they hit the buzzer or whatever, they're allowed in, and that's sufficient for everybody here?
The law is at the moment, it doesn't mean we wouldn't
That's
change
in the
that
charter.
sometime.
It's in the charter that way.
Okay, well, the reasons, well, we have a couple of people that are quite highly on drugs that we've been dealing with on a regular basis lately, and they seem to hover around the station, and I've kept the building locked. I mean, as you all know, this weekend was an absolute, we had 12 calls in less than 24 hours. It was just bam, 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 but we covered them all, so that was a good thing.
That's good. Yeah, some come in, they're crazy.
Yes, yes. I don't know if you had any other questions for anything that she had gone over. I gave you the contract.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
The one other thing, the AFG and the SAM, the village as a whole applies for that. I don't know what you guys are gonna apply for. So we already applied this year.
Okay.
Both of them.
Well, I didn't know if that's the ones that you had already.
Yeah.
So therefore I figured I'd ask. It's always worth a shot. We're trying to save you guys money too.
Yeah.
And as for the budget there, the only thing that I would like us to be able to eventually do is add a line item strictly for medication restocking.
Yeah.
Because it's very complicating for me to go on the coding for some items because it doesn't fit any of the bills, criteria
So
to,
this line has to be modified.
yeah, that's what we have to work on modifying
Depending on
because.
what you need.
So I had to put it under supplies, when technically it's not really an office supply, but it's a supply needed for,
Yeah.
Yeah. so that's where I kinda,
Same as like the fire department, you all get all those too. so.
yeah. But this is a learning curve, as you know. We'll figure out what we need to,
That's what I said, those numbers that I can't, they were just, guesses. I don't know anything about the line
understand.
items. I was just trying to,
Yeah, we're gonna meet and
Give us
go over it
something to
and
follow.
see what we can, because basically, we try to keep it as low as we possibly can anyway. We're not out to deplete the well.
overall, I think it's going fine as far as the money goes. so.
It is, we have one rig down right now, but the maintenance, it may end up being one that we ship down to the gentleman we bought the other ambulance from because we don't want to be down 9 weeks without the ambulance, and they are going to give us a loaner ambulance to use while they're repairing, and it should be less than a week to get it repaired, so. So we're looking for options to be, it may be cheaper to say go over to Royal, but it's not cheaper in the long run when we don't have an ambulance to be able to answer calls and you have to mutual aid to another agency, so.
Thank you.
So are we satisfied with the above $5,000, whatever the number is for the Zoll agreement, and is that something we want to take care of now?
We can check into it and see what it,
Well, you're not paying it till the next meeting,
so we just
so
pay it until next time, so.
But it's an ongoing
Yeah,
it's a once a year deal, right?
Yeah.
It's a deal.
check into it, get the contract for everybody so that we know what we're agreeing to. And then the same thing with the ambulance, if we're gonna take it somewhere, if it's more than $5,000, we have to approve it before we spend money.
Well, at this point, we don't know what it's gonna, you know, that's the whole thing, you know, Al's trying to track what the issue is, and if it ends up being to be quite frank, the motor that was put into that particular ambulance was a used motor. All right, so we don't know what it came out of or anything else, and Royal worked with what they had, and now things are, you know, we don't know what's, you know, it's oil somewhere along the line, so.
We'll get as best of an estimate as we can get.
Absolutely, that's what we're shooting for.
Anything else? Jeff? That's your report.
The WeGo host team is hosting the annual Central New York Firemen's Association Convention. You guys all get the information about the fireworks?
I don't know if fireworks.
They want to do it, and it's supposed to be similar to everything before. So,
Yeah. Just want to make sure everybody knows about it. The only other things I have are, we're paying SmartWatt to do maintenance on streetlights.
Yeah, they're not doing it.
No, they're not. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, somebody needs to do something with SmartWatt. I mean, granted, it's only like 13 grand or something a year, but
Still,
they're not doing it.
that's our Scott.
That was cover our Scott. So,
Jeff will go fix your street lights.
You paying $13,000 a year?
We got a ladder truck.
well, I know,
That's right, yes.
Smart was the company that was calling us at our personal businesses and
Yes.
yeah, to collect them in the villages. So, yeah,
I'll call
they were
him.
very nice.
Okay. I think we could return the favor.
yeah.
Godfather, you gonna do that?
And the only other thing I have is the tractor that we use to clear sidewalks, the bridge, the underpass, blew a hydraulic motor today. To replace it is $6 grand.
Wow.
The blew chunks of metal and metal shavings all through the system. So even if I spend $6 grand on a 20-year-old tractor, that might not even solve what the problem is. So I'll be coming to you guys with a quote on buying a new tractor and implements for it, which is on state bid. But I'm just waiting for the company to get back to me, so just so everybody knows.
What do you guess?
Probably about 25, 26,000.
2 years of streetlights.
Which we could purchase out of my equipment reserve.
Right.
So, just so everybody, I didn't want to just come to you and say, here, you know, we need 25 grand, but that's what I'm going to do.
Are you thinking of the next meeting for that?
Hopefully. I emailed, Edmar has a bid for this particular tractor, although I was talking to Jim tonight, and I think we go look at another one, but we'll see. But if we got the Kubota, I think we get a 33% discount, which brings it down to right around 25,000, but I'm not really sure about whether 33 is just for the tractor or if the implements go along with that. I'm not sure. So I'm looking for some numbers. So other than that,
The woman whose streetlight fixed
yeah.
was very happy. Called the office the next day and wanted us to fix all kinds of other problems.
That was the easy one to fix. That was just a sensor. When I got up there
All kinds of stuff.
to check it, there was no sensor on it. So either somebody went there and said, oh, the sensors are bad and didn't, I mean, I went over to Promark and bought the sensor for $8. Put it on. The other one was a little more complicated, but I fixed that one too, so. But I'm not happy with SmartWatt.
Yeah.
We're supposed to drive around at least once a month and check to see, make sure all the lights are working. Not having you call them for 2 months to tell them to fix it. Darn thing. So that's all I got.
Jim and I said we've done the street light replacement for them.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Alright. Good. That's, Rusty?
The police chief has nothing particular. He's has some health issues. He will get to these meetings if he can, but
Yeah, it wasn't feeling good when I talked to him.
yeah, and he doesn't have anything particular for us, but he may have something coming up.
I gotta say again, our OPD is awesome. They make us feel safe every time we go to these drug calls so much.
Good.
And they've,
And they're getting dispatched out with the calls, right? That was the issue that I think.
yes, they are. And if they're available, they go.
Right.
And we have had to request them a few times and we wait till they get there and they've been right on there.
All right, our next item is payment of bills. I went through them. There's some big ones in there this time.
Are you satisfied with Stanley?
Yeah.
We'll pay the bills.
Second.
Not satisfied, but yeah.
Just side of the table, guys.
I don't think I saw anything. There's something over big, so I was gonna ask Rodney about. Something about.
Now would be the time.
Not about Rodney, something? Now would be the time. I have one of those. Nice. What's it we had from the Wee Wembley School District?
Okay, John.
Tracy took it in.
Okay.
It was $200.
It was only $176.
Yeah, we used their mailing